400 not out, 8 Fernando Alonso career highlights. I freely admit to being a Fernando Alonso fanboy. But fanboy. I'm a man in my 40s. That's a ridiculous name, isn't it? I thus formally correct my previous statement to freely admitting to being a Fernando Alonso fan. Man. With Alonso reaching 400 Formula 1 entries, I thought it appropriate to have a look at 8 highlights from the great man's career thus far. So here's to Alonso. May there be another win or 6 before he finally leaves the grid. 8 Fernando Alonso career highlights. Number 8 is Formula 1 debut. The 2001 Australian Grand Prix happened 23.5 years ago. The grid included names like Michael Schumacher, Ralf Schumacher, Mika Häkkinen, David Coulthard, Rubens Barrichello, Jacques Villeneuve, and Jos Verstappen. Teams like Jordan, BAR and Jaguar still graced the grid, and a 19-year-old Spaniard made his Formula 1 debut driving a Minardi. Alonso qualified 19th out of 22 with teammate Tarso Marquez 2.5 seconds slower than him, and not actually making the grid due to the then active 107% rule. Alonso drove a solid race and brought the Minardi home in 12th place. Number 7, his first race win. It's crazy to think that Alonso has not won a race since the 2013 Spanish Grand Prix. To give you an idea of how long ago that was, Pastor Maldonado won the 2012 version. There could be no titles or final win though if the sulky genius that is Alonso never won his first Grand Prix, and that first win happened in Hungary 2003. Alonso had recently joined Renault and started the race from pole, winning as he became the youngest driver to win a race, beating the previous record of Bruce McLaren. This record lasted for over 5 years until it was beaten by Seb Vettel in 2008. Alonso also became the first Spaniard to win an F1 Grand Prix. It was the first Formula 1 win for Renault as a constructor since the 1983 Grand Prix in Austria. It was also the first Formula 1 win for a French licensed Formula 1 team since Olivier Panis won for Ligier in the 96 Monaco GP. After the race, Alonso was quoted as saying, and I quote, "A dream come true. I'm 22 years old and I have my first victory. I hope I have a long career with lots more victories," end quote. And has the man not delivered on that dream? 32 race wins and 2 World Drivers' Championships later, he's still going strong long into his 40s. Number 6, surviving that crash. The 2016 Australian Grand Prix almost ended the great Spaniard once and for all. In the hugely disappointing McLaren, Alonso started the opening Grand Prix of 2016 in 11th place, with Esteban Gutierrez starting his Haas in 20th. I quote RacingNews365.com for the following description, and I quote, "On lap 17, Alonso was tucked up behind Gutierrez in Haas's first ever race, going nowhere quickly as he attempted to move to the outside of turn 3 to swoop around the Mexican. Only this time, Alonso's reaction time was just a fraction too slow as he rammed the back of the Haas and hit the outside wall at such an angle no speed was able to be bled off. Out of control, the MP431 flipped as it disintegrated, somersaulting through the vertical as Alonso became a passenger who had no idea when his journey would end. He came to rest upside down, tucked up against the wall, and wriggled out, visibly stooping to catch his breath as the red flags were thrown to clear up the considerable mess." End quote. And remember, this was the days before Halo. The FIA's investigation found that Alonso was going at 305 km an hour when he touched the Haas's rear wheel, and they found that, and I quote the FIA report, "the wall collision was made with the front left corner of the car, resulting in a peak lateral deceleration of 45 G, with high acceleration levels also recorded by the accelerometers, demonstrating the forces on the driver's head. The car rebounded and proceeded to slide along the circuit towards the gravel trap, with front left, front right and rear left suspensions destroyed. The car was heavily leaning laterally on its left side as it travelled over the grass. This left side dug into the gravel, which rolled the car and propelled it into the air, recording a lateral deceleration of 46 G. The car travelled in the air, rotating approximately 540 degrees 1.5 times, and was airborne for 0.9 seconds. On landing, it made its initial contact with the ground on its rear impact absorbing structure, experiencing a peak longitudinal acceleration of 20 G. End quote. Alonso was indeed fortunate to be alive and walked from the accident pretty much unscathed. A true testament on the safety of the modern Formula One car. Number 5. Almost making Ferrari great again. When Alonso joined Ferrari in 2010, he was seen as probably the best driver on the grid along with Hamilton. He remained at the team in red until 2014, rejoining McLaren in 2015, finishing runner-up to Vettel in 2010, 2012 and 2013, with the title battles in 10 and 12 going down to the last race of the season. He came closer than even Vettel did to winning a driver's title at Ferrari, and ironically was beaten by Vettel. All 3 times he almost made Ferrari great again. It was behind the wheel of a Ferrari that Alonso also took his so far final race win. 4. Defending his driver's title. The year was 2006, and Alonso had won the 05 title from Schumi, ending Ferrari's dominant start to the 2000s. We all waited with breath held to see how the GOAT would react and what would happen in 06. Alonso ended 06 the 2-time World Drivers' Champion, winning 7 races to Schumacher's also 7 and beating the German by 134 points to 121, winning the title at the last race of the season in Brazil, finishing second to defend his title, adding the record of the youngest man to secure back-to-back titles at the time. Who knew it would end up being probably his final World Drivers' title. 3. First half of 2023. In 2023, Red Bull won 21 from 22 races, but an almost as big a surprise was 40-something-year-old Alonso's performances. He would score 8 podiums during the season, 6 of them in the first 10 races, as he showed that class is permanent and age is but a number. Teammate Dad's Cash Stroll managed 74 points and 0 podiums during the season, with Ancient Alonso scoring 206 and 8 podiums, finishing an excellent 4th in the title race. Number 2. Defensive masterclass in Hungary to gift Ocon the win. The 2021 Hungarian GP was a strange one, starting off with Bottas taking out Lando and damaging Verstappen's car as well. Hamilton made a mistake in tyre choice early on and Ocon surprisingly took the lead for Alpine. Things happened and Hamilton had to make up places before potentially taking Ocon. As Wikipedia puts it, and I quote, Hamilton fought his way up to 4th, then pitted on the 48th lap, coming out behind Alonso. Alonso held him back for 12 laps after the 53rd until the Spaniard locked up and Hamilton passed at the first turn, end quote. For some context, Hamilton's pole qualifying time was 1 minute 15.419 seconds. Alonso's 9th placed quali time was 1 minute 16.715. The cars were not from the same galaxy, never mind the same planet, and Alonso rolled back the years to reignite his age-old feud with Lewis and thereby secure his teammate enough time to sneak Alpine's only win under that name. Finally, number 1, dethroning the GOAT. It had to be, didn't it? 2005, fans were sick of Ferrari. Almost as sick as non-Red Bull fans were sick of Max winning in 2023. Michael Schumacher had won everything since 2000, and when Alonso began challenging him in the Renault, it sent a surge of excitement through the sport. Alonso won 7 races. Kimi would end the year 2nd for McLaren, also winning 7, and Michael would end up 3rd with only a single win in a tyre-based chaotic US Grand Prix. In the end, the Ferrari was outclassed by the Renault, and McLaren and Alonso beat Kimi by 133 to 112, winning the team's first title since winning as Benetton with Schumacher in '95. he had become the man to finally stop the Ferrari Schumacher juggernaut. And with that, we've reached the end of another video. If you enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it, please hit that sub button and like the video. Join us for new content every week, including some awesome shorts, even if I say so myself. We're also on TikTok, trying to get that going, and before I forget and look like an even bigger ass than I'm said to be, I would like to thank my great Ferrari fan friend for the awesome new logo he put together for the channel. Much appreciated, mate. God bless and goodbye.